Good morning, welcome to Dog on the Plot. Last week I promised you leaves and I intend to deliver. So I've been collecting leaves this week. I've been down on the park a couple of times with my bags for life, gathering them up. What I would say is if you're going to do something like that, be careful. You don't know what's in the leaves, unlike in your own garden. So yeah, just be careful of glass or anything even nastier. Wear thick gloves. But I got, I think, about 6 or 7 bags of leaves, and I've been putting them all into a big dumpy bag while I decide what I'm going to do with them, whether they're going to be used as is for mulching, whether I'm going to add them to the compost, whether I'm going to make leaf mould, whether I'm going to chop them up with the lawnmower, which I did last year. And the other thing I want to do is check on the leaf mould that I made last year. So we had a sneaky look a couple of months ago, I think, but I want to go back and have a look and see how it's doing, because if it's not doing that well, then I don't want to repeat the same thing this year. I'll try something new. So yes, we are going to do some leaf-based things today. I want to talk about the ginkgo tree leaves as well. I want to think about making leaf feeds out of comfrey and nettle, and yeah, a bit of a leaf theme this week. But before we get to leaves, I have been down to the plot for, wasn't even a power hour, it's like a power 20 minutes, because I remembered last week didn't actually put that pear tree in the ground. Unfortunately, it was really windy that day, so the footage that I took wasn't brilliant, but I'll see what I can do and splice it in now. Good morning, I'm on the plot, and I'm here just for one job, and I'm being quick because it is a work day. I want to get the pear tree in because I completely forgot about it at the weekend. Not to the extent that I just kind of left it randomly lying around the plot. I did put it in the wheelbarrow that's full of water. So the roots have been soaking up the water, which is what you're supposed to do with a tree anyway before you plant it. Probably not for 3 days. So I don't want to leave it in that water any longer. I want to get it into the ground. Another reason I didn't put it on the plot last week or the weekend was because we had the storm coming through, and to put a tree in and it immediately get battered by high winds was probably not a great idea. So and the third reason was because I didn't have any well, not compost down here, but any sort of workable soil. So my feeling is with these trees, when I put them in last year and I put them straight into the clay, there were too many air pockets, and I think that allowed root rot. So what I want to do is put spent soil in the hole so that the roots are protected because they're all covered by soil, but also I'm not giving them loads of nutrients with fresh compost so that they still have the incentive to send out the roots to find nutrients and water. That's my theory. But where am I going to put this tree? Because I mean, where I thought I had a pear tree, I've now got an apple tree. So I've got 2 apple trees in the fruit tree guild and a cherry that I think is dead. So I think the first thing to do is check the cherry, and if it's dead, I can whip that out and put the pear there. If it isn't dead, then I need a rethink. So here is the cherry in the fruit tree guild. This cherry was given to me by a neighbour. It was grown, I think, from a pip, so I'm not sure that it's going to be a particularly productive cherry anyway, if it is still alive. But let's have a look. Right, no it does not. So should we cut further down? Okay. Oh dear. Oh, I'm going to need 2 hands. Yeah, no signs of life there either. Okay, well that solves that problem. I haven't put any water in this hole. That's just what happens when you dig. You dig into a brook, basically. I didn't think that this particular bed was really a floody bed, but clearly you just go a little bit below the surface and there's all the water. I mean, great for summer, but yeah, you can see why perhaps the cherry roots just instantly rotted. Well, let's hope the pear doesn't do the same thing, because it's going in there. If you're wondering why I was slipping and sliding doing that, that is the current state of the grass path along here. Anyway, it's in. There we go. We have a pear tree on the plot. For how long? I'm not sure, because I don't know. I seem to have just planted it into a quagmire, really. I've just put a little bit of straw on top, but I'll mulch it properly at some point. I have put a post in, keep it sturdy. But yeah, Godspeed, little pear tree. And now is the point I realise I got distracted and do not know where the dog is. Uh-oh. Okay, let's go find her. Oh, I see her. Dory! Here! Come here. Come on. Put you in the shed so that you don't get quite so much of the wind. Oh, there she is. Okay, right, but talking of escaping dogs, I've been having a think. Now, I was having a bit of a conversation with someone in the comments a couple of weeks ago about dead hedges. Now, theoretically, we're not allowed to have boundaries on our plot, okay? They should all be open across the site. But I think a dead hedge would kind of get around that rule, because it's for wildlife and we're supposed to have wildlife places on our plots. So all of that cosmos and tree spinach and all that stuff that I cut down, mallow, is stacked up by the compost bins. Of course it is, I don't put it in it. And I thought, what about using that material for a dead hedge? Now I know that's quite soft material, but even so, I mean, the idea is that it gradually breaks down and I can put some harder stuff in there as I go along. So I'm quite inspired by that, and I kind of want to give that a go. Whether we'll get to it this week or not, we'll see. But yeah, watch this space. Dead hedge. Okay, I know that was super quick and a bit rushed. Maybe I should have taken a bit more time with the pear tree. But however, needs must, and I've got to get home and do some work. Alright, so I shall catch you later in the week. There we go, another tree on the plot. Hopefully it'll be okay. I haven't been down there to check. I do hope to go down to the plot either later today or tomorrow. First thing on the agenda today though is our local Christmas fair. So it's the same place where the horticultural show was. It happens every year. I'm going to go down there, see if I can pick up a few nice little things, maybe for Christmas, maybe for me. So I'm going to head down there, better put my Christmas jumper on, and when we get back I'll show you what I got. Welcome back. Just going to show you the little bits that I got from the Christmas fair. Did really well this year. I think the last couple of years, because they tend to have the same stalls pretty much every year, I've kind of bought all the things I like in the past. For instance, this little mug cozy. Love this mug cozy. So they were there again this year, and other things that I bought, but there was some new stuff this year. Oh, one of them was a scrunchie. I do like green, so a nice green scrunchie. This I absolutely love. I always get an ornament for the tree pretty much from the Christmas fair, and this year I got this one. Is that not the cutest little thing you've ever seen? She makes them all herself. She put it in a lovely little display box as well. So I'm really chuffed with that. There were no grey little doggies though, so it doesn't quite look like Dory, but still, I have a bit of a dog theme on my Christmas tree. But I'm not putting my Christmas tree up yet, but you'll see it in a couple of weeks, I guess. And then these kind of fabricy things. This is a tablecloth, but isn't the pattern just beautiful? So I got that. And then a little Christmassy kind of, I don't know what you would call it, a tray cover or something like that. Anyway, I thought it would be good because I have a tray that I put my laptop on when I'm editing or when I'm working, so I thought that would be nice. I don't want to pop this down anywhere where it's going to get soiled. One sec. Right, the one that you might be more interested in. Look at this. How cool is that? A fiver. This was a fiver. It's got a little design on it. It's made out of pallet wood. So I thought super clever. I thought I could put plants along it. It's been treated so it could go outside, but I think it's a bit nice to have inside. Yeah, I love it. My cousin bought one as well. I think it's really cool. So they're not the only things I've bought today. I've finally done it and I've purchased a new phone. Not this one. It's coming. So my hope is you're going to get sharper images going forwards and better quality. And one of the things this phone does is you can cancel out the ambient noise. So that footage that I had earlier with the windy plot won't have that problem anymore, one hopes. Now what I haven't done yet is purchased a tripod or gimbal, or I seriously just do not know anything about this sort of equipment. At the moment you're fixed on a little like bendy phone holder, which seems to be working okay as long as the wind doesn't blow and then it bobs up and down a little bit. But this might be a fixture for in here. This is quite good, but we're making do for the time being. Now, as well as leaves this week, I've also been collecting a bit of bubble wrap from Mum, and I'm thinking it's time. I've never bubble wrapped the greenhouse before, and I certainly haven't got enough bubble wrap to do the entire greenhouse, but I thought I might do a section or use it to plug some of the gaps that I've got in the greenhouse. I've got some glass tape, but didn't really want to do it on a damp day because it won't stick as well, but actually it feels all right in here. It is it's a horribly damp day. It's a really proper autumnal dull day, and it's already after the Christmas fair, after lunch. It's already kind of, is it 2:30? So it's pretty late and we'll be losing light really soon. So I don't think I'm going to get to the plot today. So I think we'll do a couple of gardening jobs, maybe think about these leaves, and then tomorrow we'll see if we can get down to the plot. Another job that I did in the week was sort out my compost bins a little bit. So I'd been piling things next to it, and now I've piled things in it, but this is still those Jerusalem artichoke sticks, which I want to take down the plot actually. I'm not quite sure I'm going to get them down there. I don't think they're going to fit in the car. Might just have to carry them. But I want to take them down because this is great material for the dead hedge that I was talking about when I was down planting the pear tree. But they're just in there for the time being. Everything else I tore up, I put in, and I just had a delivery. This time it was dog food, and it had this packaging inside, which is great stuff for the compost heap because it's already it's easy to tear up and it's already got texture in it and stuff, so it keeps air in your compost, so good stuff for it. I'm just going to put that in. But the one that's sort of ready will be ready in spring. I have now covered over. Oh, what does the thing? Yeah, it's not very hot, but it shouldn't be. When so Charles Dowding posted about this earlier today, and what he says you need to do is when your compost has finished, like it's major decomposing and the temperature drops, that's when you leave it to mature. So you could put it directly on the bed at this time of year to mature because you're not going to plant in it until spring, but I'm just going to leave it in this bay because this one isn't full yet, and hopefully in spring we're going to have super nice compost to use on the beds. That's the idea. Right, I'm just going to stick this in. Actually, I need to get changed because I'm bound to get dirty. While I'm on my way inside to get changed, I just want to show you the Australian tree cabbage. So this is the one that I've got at the back of the garden, and it was in the Jerusalem artichoke patch. So there's where I cleared all of them, and you can see that it was suffering from being crowded out by the Jerusalem artichoke foliage. And yeah, the leaves are just not great, and it had a lot of munching. But since the artichokes have been removed, look at the new growth on top. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, so lush. So I need to think about that because I think probably this tree cabbage then needs to be moved, potentially to the plot. But I have already got, I think, 3 of these tree cabbages on the plot, so it would be better somewhere in the garden, but I'm not sure where. Actually, the other thing I need to do with this patch is dig up, oh, I'm stepping on the asparagus, dig up these 2, and there's one there, just see it, rhubarb crowns. So there's my main rhubarb crown, and then I've got these 2 babies next to it. I put them far too close to that one, and not only too close, I mean you don't need 3 rhubarbs, which makes me wonder where I'm going to put these, because I already have 3 rhubarbs on the plot. Now Mark wants one, so I'm going to dig them up. See, he might want both, but I've also got these 2 rhubarbs that I grew from seed, so one there and one there. So I guess I'll just ask Mark and see what he wants anyway. But yeah, they definitely need digging up, and now is the time of year to move rhubarbs, so I'm going to put that on my list. What else do I want on my list? Right, well, let's look at the list that I had before. So this is home garden. Okay, home garden. Tubs, lift, repot, store. Someone has decided now to trim or whatever it is they're doing, so I'm sorry about the noise. Sweet Sicily I did. Tubs, lift, repot, store. I think that's okay for now. I don't think they've got any tubs that are waiting for anything to do. I've got carnations out there, but that's okay, isn't it? I must look up about caring for carnations. And I think the only other one is the, oh, what's it called? Thunbergia, that's it. But that will die. I think that's only annual. I don't think you can overwinter a Thunbergia. So I think tubs are done. Beds, tidy mulch, plant green manure. I did put a bit of green manure down where I planted the garlic, so I just put a load of mustard seed into that bed. So that bed's fine. We did a whole round of the beds, didn't we? So the beds are okay for the time being. I'm really waiting for a good frost to kill off all the nasturtiums, and once I can clear those, I'll have a better sense of what is going on with those beds. Plant the pheasantberry, we did that. Plant hydrangea, we did that. Bring in the lemon and lime, we did that. Begonias we did. Fuchsias I did. Compost turn. I think I've ticked everything off on there. Brilliant. Right, plot. Pay up King's seed order, yes, we tick those. Strim, well, I've started. Weed, I've started. Plant brassicas, continuing process. Wineberry, I did, and also the knot is a wineberry. Cover beds with cardboard or green manure, started. Harvest pumpkins, we did ages ago. Harvest beans, we did. I definitely need to update this list. Okay, that's it. Right, let's make a new list. Okay, home garden. What did I just say we were going to do? Lift the rhubarb. Oh my god, my head. Right, lift rhubarb. I just tried to shut the greenhouse door to see. Oh, they've stopped. Good. Right, lift rhubarb. Bubble wrap for the greenhouse. These, I'll just show you. These are the salvias. They need a water salvias. I've still got 3 aubergines in here that are doing nothing. I was just leaving 3 with holding out hope for something, but no. So get rid of aubergines. And what I actually really need to do is mow, although today is not the day to do it because it's far too wet. But I'm going to put mow plus chop leaves, because if that's what I decide to do with the leaves. Oh, and check leaf mould bin. And of course the other thing I've done none of is spring bulbs. I've not planted a single spring bulb yet, and I have loads that I've lifted from last year and were from tubs. I haven't actually bought any spring bulbs yet. That may change soon. Could be possibly going to a garden centre tomorrow. So spring bulbs and the rest of the garlic, because I still have only done those 3 rows. So garlic, not doing onions, that's unless I find some cheap and buy them. And general clearing, I guess. I'll put general clearing. I noticed that the hostas are all decomposing down, so they need clearing. Oh, and lift dahlias. I'm not doing that just yet because we've still not had enough frost. Oh yeah, because once we've had enough frost, leave it a couple of weeks and lift dahlias, and at the same time I'm going to harvest the ochre, which I am looking forward to so much. When I was taking those begonias out of the bed that the ochre is also in, I disturbed some of the tubers and I could see them and they look beautiful. They're not huge yet, but that's because they put on the majority of their growth after they've had a good frost and the foliage has died off. Thank you to Mayu at Spuds and Roses for telling me that. And I also was looking it up on the Real Seeds website. So harvest ochre is on my list, but not just yet. Okay, home garden, that seems enough jobs to get on with. Plot is quite easy because we've put the tree in. Let's put it on the list anyway so I can tick it off. Plant, pear, tree, tick. But I just want to continue going bed from bed and assessing each bed, deciding what I want to do with it for over winter, whether it's going to have brassicas in, a green manure, the cardboard, rabbit poop, whatever it is that I might be doing with it, and weeding it obviously. So I'll put bed by bed, but also brassicas. Anything else? I mean, there's the perennial jobs of the plot, which is dismantle. How many times have I written this down? Compost bins, put up greenhouse. Oh, obviously I'm not going to put the greenhouse up over winter. Actually, in fact, I'll just take that off the list. That was a silly thing to put on. No point putting up a greenhouse at this time of year. I shall wait till the spring for that now. But clearing the space for where it wants to go and building a foundation, I could put that. Building foundation would be good winter jobs. Oh, sorry, Dory. Dory got shut out of the greenhouse. To be on video, don't you? Yes, you do. Oh, this is a bit awkward. What kind of thing is this? There we go. The other big thing for the plot is the deciding of the raised beds and the building of the raised beds, which is an overwinter thing to do. Yes, it is. And I started looking on market Facebook Marketplace for wood, and I'm not going to actually purchase any yet because I need to do measuring and just figure things out. My main concern is that my existing beds are so heaped, so it's not like I can just plonk some raised beds on top, because they'll be all wobbly if they're at the edges, or, you know, tilted. And if I just put them in the middle where it is flat, I'm losing all that space around the edge. So I really need to think that through. I'll probably talk to Mark about it. Any ideas that you have, I'll all ears, all ears. Okay, speaking of Mark, let's lift those rhubarb. That's a good first job to do. Oh, and I still haven't got change. Right, get change, lift rhubarb. While I was just digging those up, I noticed that some of the Jerusalem artichokes are actually peeping up out of the ground. I don't know whether the fox has been over. Speaking of which, Dory! It's not foxes, it's cats. I don't know whether something has been digging them up, or it was just the weight of the stalk had already lifted them from the ground and I missed it last time. But yeah, there, take a look. They're peeking out. And it looks like something's been having a nibble. So I did promise that we would lift some of these last time and then forgot about it and was too tired. So let's do some now. Oh wow! Oh my goodness! Wow! Oh my God! Look at the size of that! Well, that's phenomenal. Wow! Wow! Well, if that is any indication of what is in the rest of this bed... Oh, what are you doing, Dory? We are not going to be short of Jerusalem artichokes this winter. My goodness! I mean, look at the size of them! They're incredible! We better wash it all, the mud off, so we can get a good look. This is as many as I would eat in a winter, and I am one of those people for whom Jerusalem artichokes are a little difficult to digest. So yeah, we're going to have to think about these, because we've got a load on the plot as well. Dory, do you have to stand in the middle of the bed? These things that you can see in the bed are the fruits of a Japanese quince. I guess they are edible. They're super hard. I don't quite know what you would do with them. Anybody got any ideas, let me know, because there's loads that have come off the tree this year. This is the tree. It's coming out of my hedge, which is full of ivy. But I don't think it's my tree. I don't think it's on my boundary. I think it comes over from next door. But it has lovely blossom, and yeah, I'm all for it. I probably don't want it coming out like this across my path. But hey ho. Hey ho, Dory. am soaked, absolutely soaked, but I'm over the moon. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And that is just from what I could pull up with my hands from one plant. I didn't dig, and there are like 20 more plants there. That's a lot of Jerusalem artichokes. I mean, look at the size of it. I have never seen one like that in the shops. Oh, look at that. They are beautiful. Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess. I think that is beautiful. I am really chuffed. Oh, I didn't even have that on my list, did I? Right, putting it on the list so I can cross it off. Harvest some Jerusalem artichokes. Tick and success. Total success. Yes, clearly I am ridiculously excited about these, even though I can't really eat them. But I'm going to try, tummy upset or not. Maybe homegrown ones don't have quite the same effect. We shall see. I will report back, but not in great detail. Super. Okay. And they're all washed and ready to go. Did you like my little washing system there? Quite impressed by that. That was a job I hadn't expected to do. So, oh, lift rhubarb, tick. Bubble wrap. I think that's probably a priority because last night it was 1.6 in here. Shouldn't be getting that cold in the greenhouse. The reason it is because there are gaps everywhere. So let's have a go at plugging the gaps in the greenhouse. I am under no illusion that this is perfect, but it's plugging the gaps. I immediately ran out of tape, of course, and then I've put this one just in the corner where my overwintering begonias and such geraniums are, because there is a gap down there, and although I've got this tray plugging it slightly, a little extra insulation I think won't go amiss. Oh my god, dog. Wish you get into everything. Is that where you want to sit? Okay. Right, I'm at 6%. Soil in my tea. Let's do the ticking off. Right. Where was my new list? There we go. Water salvias, that's going on. Bubble wrap greenhouse, that's done. Get rid of aubergines, they're out there, so I'll just quickly do that. And I think that's going to be it for this afternoon because it's getting dark. I've got 6% left. It's just started to rain. I think that's telling me to go indoors, probably do some chores in there. But I'm pretty happy with that. I have to say, one of the things about doing a vlog is it does mean you have to get out and do jobs. I think if I weren't doing the vlog, I would have very easily just stayed in today and watched TV and ate cake. I mean, I will do that too, but yeah, it got me out here, it got me doing some jobs. I feel so pumped about those Jerusalem artichokes, which is an interesting choice of words to use for Jerusalem artichokes. Anyway, I will sign off for now and hopefully see you tomorrow at the plot. So full disclosure, that was actually 2 garden centres, not just one. And I was feeling pretty proud of myself in that I hadn't bought anything. And then I did go and buy that bench, that 2 seats with a little table in between, but it was an absolute bargain. And I've been looking for something just like it all summer long, because I've got no seating area at all in the home garden. So yeah, it was too good a bargain to pass up, because online I was seeing it at £300–400, and I got that for 90 quid, so pretty good. As you can see, I'm on the plot and Mark is here. We're putting in the rhubarbs, so that's the first job down here. So I'm on to bed 3 basically, and I'm going to weed it. I'm going to look at the raspberries. I'm going to think about the rhubarb. It's a bit tricky on bed 3 because I have, oh, but Mark is here. He could move it. I've got the butler sink at the front of the plot, but we'll think about that. So I brought down the rhubarbs, I brought down some soil, I've also brought down rabbit poop, and I actually got to meet the rabbits this week, which was basically the highlight of my week. I met Benny and Bertie, and I got to feed them some of my homegrown carrots and sage, and they seemed to like it. It's so cute, just so cute. So rabbit poop is here, and yeah, I'm just gonna start on bed 3 really, and let's see what happens. Well, there's the rhubarb I'm gonna put in. I gave Mark the other 3. I bought some spent compost and a bit of peat-free compost as well, in case it's needed. Okay then, bed 3. What to do? This is the boundary line of bed 3. You can just see some wood there, but so it's much wider than it perhaps looks because the grass has been creeping over. Now, what have we got in here? So we've got the Japanese wineberry that's not a Japanese wineberry, and you know, the more I think about it, the more I think this is just a bramble. It's just a blackberry, and I don't really want that there. So I think the first thing is to turf that out. Then we've got 1 raspberry, 2 raspberry, a rhubarb, another rhubarb, another raspberry, that's the fall gold, another raspberry, another raspberry, another raspberry. We've got Phacelia, which is a cover crop and is fine, can go underneath any mulch I put on. I think these are wallflowers, so I could remove some of those if I decide to cover the bed. And then I did forget, I put in a whole row of everlasting sunflowers along here. That's supposed to be my boundary here, but when I was talking about the dead hedge, that's where I was imagining it would be. It would go along here to provide a space or a barrier between my plot and Jim's. So here's where the everlasting sunflowers are, and then there's this mound, and then Jim's bed. So it goes all along like that, you see. I'm wondering if I could put the dead hedge along this. Yeah, as I'm looking up the plot, I feel like that is all mine. So I think that's where my boundary is, where his pipe for the flooding goes. This Cerinthe that you identified for me, some of you, I think I'll take that out of there. It seems a bit of a waste in that spot, so I think I'll pot that up and take it home. What else is there in here? Just the comfrey, I think. I think that's the only thing that's intentionally in the bed. It gets a bit messy up here. There's a very weedy patch next to my kind of makeshift wildlifey bit, next to the makeshift pondy bit. Okay, well, let's take the blackberry bramble thing out first and pot up the Cerinthe. That's raspberry. That's raspberry. It's coming up. Those were the ones that I thought completely died. And look, here's another. It is alive under there. Inevitably there were way more weeds than I anticipated, but I have weeded the bed mostly, and I've removed a lot of the wallflowers, and I'm really hoping that these are wallflowers now. I think they are. So they're out of the bed. The bed is clearish, and I'm now going to put some of the rabbit bedding on there to mulch it, and then we'll think about cardboard. Okay, there is a mulched bed. It's not perfectly mulched because the weeds would grow straight through all of this rabbit bedding, but yeah, I'll think about the next layer. For now, that's fine. I've marked where the 2 raspberries are that I found, so I can just keep an eye on them. And yeah, what am I going to do with all these wallflowers now? I mean, really, they have to go in right away, don't they? Right, well, while I was thinking about that, I decided to put the rhubarb in. I couldn't really think where to put it other than the perennial bed where the other rhubarb is, but that is full of weeds, and I couldn't even tell you what a space in there would be for a rhubarb. So I went with the fruit tree guild instead. Sorry about the wind. So here's the fruit tree guild, and right in this corner by the apple tree I've put the rhubarb. Okay, you can just see him poking out there, and I've not buried the crown deep. You can't really tell, I don't think, on the video, but it's slightly proud to the soil, and I believe that's how you're meant to do rhubarb. Clearly this bed needs a lot of work, but that's bed 7. Is that right? Is that how many beds I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 8. It's bed 8. So that's a long way off. And it did have a little bit of TLC not that long ago. You wouldn't know it to look at it now, though. Right. I think what I'll do is pack up the car, take Dory for a walk, and then call it day done. Oh, I do need to harvest some things for dinner. So we'll do that before I go. That's always a nice way to end any job on the plot, is to pick something and be able to take it home. So I definitely want carrots, kale, beets, whatever else we can find. morning, it's Monday morning and the sun is shining. It's lovely. I've just been out for a dog walk, and as I was on the dog walk I realised that I really haven't delivered on my leaves episode. So I thought to end this week's video we would have a quick look in the leaf mould bin to see if it has created any leaf mould. And what is in there is 1 year and 2 year old leaves, because the first year I tried to make leaf mould, nothing happened, so I combined the leaves from the year before and last year in the Dalek composter. So that's where they've been hanging out. I've periodically had a peek in and added a bit of water to keep it moist, but yeah, I'm not holding that much hope. What I will say is the level has dropped considerably, so that's probably a good sign. I've got a cake in the oven, so we need to listen out for that. In fact, might have to check on it. And then I thought we'd end to complete our leaves for this week, making a ginko biloba tea. And talking of foods that I've grown and consumed, just an update on the Jerusalem artichokes. I cooked them last night and I'm very pleased to report no ill side effects. And I did a couple of hacks. So I soaked the tubers in salted water for a few hours before I cooked them, and I also cooked them with some caraway seed. Now these might be myths, but they seem to have worked, and they were delicious. I roasted them with olive oil and garlic and rosemary and thyme and the caraway. Okay, let's go check on the leaf mould. Okay, it still looks quite leafy on top, and it looks like the ivy is growing through. But look how far down it is in the tub, and this was right up to the top when I filled it up. So perhaps underneath we have some real leaf mould. What do they call it? Gardener's gold. Well, I mean, it's not bad really, is it? I mean, that's definitely heading towards what you want. There's some little worms in there as well. Interestingly, it's the ginkgo biloba leaves that have kind of matted into a pack here, and I wonder if that's because I just kept adding those from the garden on top. So perhaps they're the kind of newer leaves that still need to do their breaking down. But I'm actually really quite pleased and surprised by that. This is where it was sitting, and it's sitting on the tree stump of the conifer that used to live here. So these roots coming up, I don't think are anything to do with the conifer. I think they're the honeysuckle and ivy that grows around here. But actually, other than a couple of bits, there's one, look. There. It's certainly not riddled with it, so that's good. There's a big worm. Brilliant. Right, now I've taken that out of there. What am I doing with it? Really glad I put it on this tarpaulin. I feel that was a smart thing for me to do. What you found, Dory? Found a stick? Have you found a stick? Yes. Do you want me to throw it? Do you want me to throw it? Ready? Oh no, look, there's a Dalek in the way. Oh, oops. I think what I'll probably do is tip all of that into one of the dumpy bags, and then it's there ready if I want to mulch with it, because I think that is mulchable right now, even with the leaves that aren't degraded, because they will just continue to degrade on the bed. Or it can stay in the bag where it's going to get a bit more air and hopefully help decomposition to then be used as a sowing compost for next year. Pretty pleased with that. Time to start the next batch then. But right now, let's pick a few ginkgo leaves and make some tea. So there's my ginkgo tree, looking absolutely gorgeous in the morning sunshine and with that gorgeous blue sky. Oh my goodness, I'm just going to keep panning up here. Look at that. Wow. She's absolutely gorgeous. Obviously this tree was here when I moved in, and I couldn't be happier that it is here. It does tend to make a bit of a mess, but as we have seen, this all goes to good use so long as you're raking it up. But it also does get into the pond, and I know I mentioned covering the pond last week. Yep. Still not done that. I don't think I've ever done that, because the one time I did, a little bird got stuck in it and I haven't been able to bring myself to try again after that. Right, we're going to collect a couple of these leaves then for tea. You can collect a lot of leaves and dry them, and obviously then you've got them shelf stable for the rest of the year or whatever. I've never actually dried them. I tend to just pick them off at this time of year when they're yellowing, which is when they're best for tea. I guess their properties, because ginkgo biloba is known to have lots of properties that are good for you. I think they include memory, but the fact that I said I think they include, anyway, it tastes good. So I'm going to collect just a few fresh to make 1 cup of tea. So the tea is steeped for a few minutes now. It's a kind of pale green colour, and it tastes earthy, as most herbal teas do. You could add lemon or ginger or some kind of sweetener, but I'll drink it just as. Very nice. Let's try the cake. This is figs from a local tree and almond. Lovely. So thank you for joining me this week. We did deliver on the leaves at the end, and with some sunshine. I'm so warm, I'm just in a t-shirt. I've got my bobble hat on. But yeah, I think that has been a productive week. Really enjoyed putting that to-do list together, but mostly enjoyed looking back at the last one and seeing that I'd done all those tasks. I'm always thinking that I don't get that much done, but clearly I had. So pretty good. Somebody has come to see about the cake. Well, I think that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I will catch you next week. I'll leave you with the ginkgo tree.